You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, the 4th day of January, 2019. Looks like we got a horse race. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. If you are joining us for the very first time today, let me extend a very special welcome to you. And to those of you that are returning, welcome back. I have a chart up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. If you cannot see the chart, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. In 30 seconds, you'll be registered. We think into the eternity. Yeah. We'll know in a couple days when we test it. As you know, you used to have to register for the radio program once a month. We think we've overcome that with the help of Dr. Tom, so we'll find out. Now, if you're away from the office or you're listening off a cell phone or a tablet and you just can't download the software to join us, then you can still join us. Go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. youtube.com/CFRN/live. Every day during the live broadcast, we simulcast live on YouTube, just for you too. All right, this chart I have up, S&P 500 E-mini Futures. These are this week's weekly trading zones. And if we back it up just a little bit here, take a look at a couple things. Now, all right, that was the gap higher open Sunday night on Globex. We made a run at the zone overhead. Didn't quite have enough of the right stuff to get there. So we did what the market does. We pulled back to the weekly trading zone where it held as good support. We spiked it, but it held. And you'll see that it sent us right back up to the weekly trading zone. So this 2520/21 has become a very pivotal area for us this week. As you can see, off the Globex Open, we had hit it twice on Friday, then the Globex Open, we hit it again. We pulled back to the zone below, which we expect to be good support until proven otherwise. Okay? So you'll notice how we came down, and when we hit the zone, we consolidated. These are 30-minute candles, so that's an hour and a half of consolidation, and then the journey down begins in earnest. The zone at 2468/69, we powered through that. When that happens, only three things can happen when we hit a weekly trading zone. First, and the most likely, and that's what you see all over the place, is consolidation. See how it consolidated there at the zone? Okay. And there. Now, remember, only three things. One is consolidation. Two is rejection. And rejection, let's see if I got a good example of rejection for you. Not so much. It's like this, okay? All right, so anyway, let me walk you through. So price hit the zone, came down to the zone, spiked the zone, because we had a gap there. Oh, remember I told you the Apple business was a little bit overdone yesterday? And everybody thought I was crazy because I kept saying, oh, it's not really a horrific day. I don't think it's going to be horrific. And I said, wait for it. The bounce. Remember? Okay. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. It's not witchcraft or black magic. It's just learning how to read a chart. And if you will simply spend some time learning how to read the chart and utilize the various tools we put at your disposal, like the weekly trading zones, then there's nothing that I or Michael do that you can't do, and possibly could even do better, because you're not distracted by a million other things. Results vary. Okay, so price comes down to the zone, goes back to the zone, down to the zone, tries to get back to the zone, down to the zone holds, and off we go. Here, you'll notice we consolidated just above the zone, but each one of those candles is touching the zone. This is the first candle that doesn't touch the zone right here. We consolidate, bang. Then, as we start to move higher, what do? We come back to confirm good support right at the zone, right there. And then we make the sprint higher. We pushed through, pulled back, and I walked you guys through this morning. Those of you that are on the alert trial, I walked you through it. We came back, we spiked it, it held, and it took us right up to the next zone, where we've been now for, these are 30-minute candles, 2 hours. And when this candle closed right here, I posed a question in the alert trial discussion group. I posed the question, could this be the high of the day? When this candle closed red, with this wick sticking up above the zone, I posed the question, or I made the statement, I think, we may have just seen the high of the day. And we may not. We're still consolidating. We don't know. This is a clue, but it's not the whole picture. You have to look at the whole picture. Now, this morning, in the alert channel, we had an alert to get long, to consider being long 2490. Good morning, Michael.
Hey. Hey, Dwayne.
I know the sound of your fingers. Yep.
Yes, you do. Can you hear me type my name?
2490. Okay, guys. And so, from 2490, we put in a swing high up at 2650. So that's 36.5 points. That's what the market made available there. And so all of you that are on the alert this morning, you had the opportunity to see the alert come out. I walked you through it. I'm showing it to you now on the chart. Now, you heard me talk a lot about the exit signal, okay? I also gave you some instructions on where to move that stop loss once we were underway and had put in this potential high of the day. The good news is it did not come back to take out your stop at 2507. And it just looks like we might take out this previous high of the session. And the really good news is we've not yet printed an exit signal. Really? True story. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm not going to stay long today. I don't know if you folks can notice that I sound like I just hit puberty. My voice is starting to change. I've had a god-awful sore throat for the last couple of days. I don't think that's not that. You shouldn't say that, right? God-awful. All right, I've had an awful sore throat for the last couple of days. Today, it has blossomed into, I don't know what it is, but it's not pretty. Well, I can't say it's not pretty because I haven't looked down in there. I'm afraid to. I just know it hurts. All right. So we're going to get through the show. We're going to bring you all the stuff you want to see and hear and, you know, all that jazz. I'm not going to linger today because I got to we have a trial going on, an alert trial. So I have to take care of all the passport holders, you know, and I've got the alert channel running. If you want to be a part of that, email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. She'll send you out the information. It's going to run through Tuesday. Originally, it was going to be Thursday and Friday. I did midstream. I said, no, let's do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then I realized some people had already shown up in the channel, so I went ahead and kicked it off. So there you have it. There's a discussion group. It dawned on me yesterday, as people were trying to get questions to me about different things, I said, you know what? I need to make a discussion group for the alert. Because the channel, only I post, or staff posts in the alert channel. But in the discussion group, you can just type in your question. Now, if you followed me here to the live show today from the alert channel, I told you that I would walk you through everything that happened this morning. Anything you want to know about, anything we discussed, talked about, please feel free to type your questions into the chat box, okay? Nobody sees what you type except myself, Michael, Valerie, and if Bert happens to pop in, he would be able to see it. But my point is, you don't have to worry about somebody thinking you're not so smart because you asked a dumb question. We believe in that old saw of there are no dumb questions. The only dumb question, how does it go? The only dumb questions are when you don't ask. If you're curious about something, and let me just say this, because Michael's going to come here in just a minute and do a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today. Now, the live training room is a rules-based environment. This is where you get your chops. This is your boot camp. This is where you get the equivalent of military bearing. Any of you that have ever been to boot camp, you know what that is, okay? market bearing, we'll call it. All right. You get that in the live training room in a rules-based environment, so you're never at a loss as to what you're supposed to do next. Oh my, what do I do? Look at the rules. They're right there. There's not a lot of them. Trading's not easy, but boy, we've done everything we possibly know how to make it simple. Okay? So again, put your questions into the chat box. Nobody's gonna see it, think less of you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to try to help in any way that we can. So, with that said, when I come back, I'm going to show you what these exit signals that you've heard me talk about in the channel, in the discussion group. I'm going to go over that, and I'm going to answer any questions that you guys have. As far as I know, John will be joining us today, around the bottom of the hour-ish, something like that. Had a great show yesterday with Dr. Tom. If you missed yesterday's show, I encourage you to go to youtube.com after this show, and you can watch yesterday's show, or the day before, or the day before. There's years of them. Have a blast. Okay? And with that, Mr. Michael.
Hello, Dwayne. Okay, and with that, I will take the charts over here.
Yours, yes, sir.
And give you.
Sorry, there was no
voice.
little bit of news up front. Oh, let me give them the numbers. I can give them the numbers while you're getting the charts.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the numbers. Okay, now these are cash markets, not futures. Okay, we'll get back to the futures here. Michael's going to recap the futures from the live training room this morning. And I was explaining that that's a rules-based environment, and that's where you get your basic training, okay? Everything that you learn there, should you ever step out into the discretionary markets via the alert channel, all of those rules still apply. Now, of course, the stop loss is different because there's a different objective. And I don't want to throw too much out and confuse anybody. Just know that there are two different methods of trading based on the same principle. Okay. All right. The Dow cash market currently up 684 points. That's a little over 3%. I told you, where's Apple? I got to know where Apple is. Let's pull up Apple. There's Apple. Huh. I don't know if is that right? Okay, so this is the huge gap down that Apple took because they're going to make $85 billion in the first quarter. Not the $89 billion they had hoped to make. Aww. I don't think with $84 billion, anybody over at Apple is going to lose the cheese on their macaroni. Overdone. Completely overdone. Tim Cook, because he doesn't have a new product to bring out, he engineered a surprise to the upside as a way to kickstart this thing, because it's down over 40% over the past year. That's my thought, and it's just my thought, my opinion. I think he engineered this so that when they report, he'll get a surprise to the upside. And all the analysts that flipped on him the other day and downgraded him, they'll be upgrading him. Be careful when that happens, okay? Now, when this gap fully closes, okay, look out. Do I think it will close? I do.
They're looking at my chart right now, Dwayne.
Oh, well, that's a problem. Okay, I'll show it to you guys later. All right, back to the numbers. NASDAQ currently up 263 points. Cash market, that is 4%. A 4% gain in the tech-heavy NASDAQ, as they say. I could sound like Wolfman Jack if I wanted to with this sore throat. S&P 500 up 79 points, 3.25%. Russell 2000 up 41 points, over 3%. This is one of the most bullish green days we've seen in quite some time, I do think. And we just took out that potential high of the day, and we have a new one. Now, our swing trade alert, which last week We put that in the alert channel, and the entry was 23.75. We discussed a 50% retracement here, and it handed it to us in a wonderful way. And now still on track for 25.40, just below this week's weekly trading zone, up at 46.47. Okay. Okay. Now in the commodity basket, crude oil up 85 cents. That's almost 2%. Trading 47.94 last. Gold taking a hit today, down $7.60, trading 1287.20 last. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei fell 452 points. It's a little over 2%. The Shanghai gained 50 points, which for the Shanghai is 2%. And the Hang Seng added 561 points, which for the Hang Seng is 2.25%. In the European markets, FTSE at the close up 144 points, 2%. DAX up 351 points. That's 3.33%. And the CAC up 125 points. For the CAC, that's almost 3%. Let me give you these percentages again. Dow up over 3%. NASDAQ up over 4%. S&P 500 up over 3%. That's just today. I don't mean this week or this year. I'm talking about today. Russell 2000 up over 3%. FTSE up over 2%. DAX up over 3%. CAC up over almost 3%. The only red on the screen is the Nikkei, down 452, 2.25%. But Shanghai up over 2%. Hang Seng up over 2%. This is a global rally, okay? All players are participating except the Nikkei. And we'll look into that. John may have some answers for us. Now, Powell came out with a statement that if Trump asked him to resign, he would refuse. That's not nice. But he also has said that he'll be patient with rate hikes. So there you go. Michael, I've said too much. Take it away.
Okay. All right. I got it.
All right. Hang on. Let me get the chart up there for the folks on YouTube. Okay. And Valerie, while Michael's doing the recap, if you would put a link into the chat box for the alert trial, that's going to go through Tuesday. We'll be at it Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. I mean, we're going to finish out today. We've had a great week. It's just, you need to go there and take a look. See it for yourself. Okay. So Valerie, if you'll put that into the channel, both the alert channel and the discussion group channel, I appreciate it very much. And Michael, I'll shut up. It's all yours.
Okay. All right. I'll get everything rolling here. Let me answer the questions that are in here that needed to be answered. We'll be talking about the alert service. You just did. And we'll be posting some links in there for you to take the trial on it. About what time does John come on? Usually around 12:30, 12:40 is when John comes on. Yeah, you're all looking at my screen. Is there a link for the alert discussion group? There is. I don't know what it is right now though, but Valerie's going to post it, I think.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, Valerie. How do you determine the weekly trading zones? That's proprietary information, and isn't the high of the day candle an exit signal? No, not necessarily, David. The high of the day it can be a target signal rather than an exit signal. And Gary bought Apple yesterday. That's great. Okay, so here we go. Let me bring over the right chart thing. Okay, here we are. If you have not, Oh, wait, I got to do this part. All right, good afternoon, everyone. See, I'm doing this is like a machine. You know, I do the same thing every day, every day. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the 4th day of January, 2019. All right, I even say almost every day I say when I say, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go right over here in the right-hand column where it says 5-day free trial and click on apply.cfrn.net. You can, I'm going to change it up now. You can also go down here to where it says free 5-day trial, or right here where it says use our proprietary indicators for free. And if you really want to work at it, you can go way down here where it says start free trial. Okay. Once you do that, you'll be brought to this page. Eventually, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to click that confirmation link. Okay? Okay. Spreadsheet. Well, we had another green day, but we were just barely green. We stopped out on our last trade, I think, and gave it all back. But we were at, well, we ended up with -8 on the euro, -4 on crude, +10 on gold. That put us at +10 on the morning. Today is one of those days where, you know, you should have put the mouse away when you got the goal for the day. Today it took 44 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day, and we took a total of 5 trades. On the month now, we're at +$210. That's over 3 days. And on the year, well, we're in the same spot. Okay. And yeah, we'll get those numbers up. Last month, we ended with $3,545. And yeah, the month before that was $3,595. I didn't notice that they were that close until I looked at it a half hour ago. Month before that, though, was our best month of the year. We're at $5,978. That is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. 1 contract, 2 hours per day. Okay, so we're starting off consistent, just a little slow. With all the stuff that was going on today, there was a while where I didn't want to do anything with Powell speaking and all that. But we'll get into it here. All right. So all this going down right here was going into the low of the day. That's why you don't see a bunch of trades, because it was hitting the low of the day. We finally pulled back enough that we had room to trade into the low of the day. Then it went down, and it gave us like 7 ticks, and then it pulled back up and stopped us out at break even. The next opportunity we had on gold was right over here, and we got long, and we took 10 ticks, which was the goal for the day. Okay, and I don't see anything else highlighted. So, looks like gold was pretty much done for the day, and I think it is. All right, we'll go to the euro now. On the euro, I know we stopped out somewhere on the euro here. Okay, I'm not showing the stop out, but there were a couple of opportunities here on the euro. One was here. That one, the cycle was going down too steep. Again, the same thing. Was this our stop out? This might have been our stop out. Because I don't have anything else marked. But I know we stopped out on the euro. I think that was our stop out. Yeah, I just marked it wrong. So we stopped out on the euro right there. You see, we didn't move far enough to put the stop to break even. And it came right back up and stopped us out. And then kept going in the opposite direction. During the break. Not really a lot going on here during the break today. Okay. All right. On the crude. What did we do on crude today? We're -4. Okay. That's because we had 1 +4. Now we missed a few trades in here on crude. Okay, and then the crude inventories came out, which made it jump all over the place. But I want to show you something else on crude here in just a minute. See, I think this was all going into the high of the day here. That's why we didn't have any trade setups. it was pushing that high right there, because the ES and crude started out the morning at the high of the day, and gold and the euro started out at the low of the day. And then crude had the inventories come out, and we had a break even. We missed a trade. We missed a trade. Both of those would have been profitable or break even at worst. Then we picked up 4 ticks here, and we gave back 8 ticks right there. So we ended up with minus 4 ticks. Now right here, we're at the end of the session. Otherwise, I would have shorted that right there and taken some profit on it to get us a little bit better return on the morning session. Just looking, you see down here how the cycle is just squiggling all around? You can't trade when it's doing that. Okay, you have to wait until there's a defined trend and it's not squiggling around like that. Okay. Over here we had a bounce off the BBC. That just happened. Okay, and it's still working. But we ended with minus 4 this morning on crude. On the ES today, we didn't do anything. Not a darn thing. That's not to say that it didn't move around, but it moved around when Powell came on. And I wasn't having any of that. Technology contained from the Bible. Not that I know of, Wayne. Okay, scrolling back here on the ES. Looks like we missed an opportunity right here near the open. Another one right here going up into the zone. Then we had to get away from the zones. And there would have been one right here. That would have been a break even. I think Bert and I were talking about that one right there as it was happening. And one over here. This was all during Powell, though, so I wasn't doing anything when Powell was talking. There were a couple opportunities. One there, one there. And then we get all the way over here. And did we break it? Yeah, we did. So you could have shorted right there for the leg down. Again, this is all when Powell was speaking, so I was just leaving the markets alone at that time. Right here was an opportunity. Okay, so the ES was bouncing all over the place. And right now, the cycle's going up too steep to do anything. We didn't have step 2 in here to be able to short off the BBC, but I would anticipate that it's probably going to get back down to this weekly trading zone. Once it does, it might continue back up, but that's what I'd anticipate. Now, on the crude, I wanted to show you something extra. This right here is the level that I think it's going to get back to. Now, I put this level in at about, I don't know what time I put it in. At about 10 o'clock, I think. I put this level in. And price was still going up, and I was showing the options and the option prices. And I was looking for it to get back down here when it was up here. I was saying I anticipate it's going to get back down to the 47.10 level. And so what I was showing at the time was this. Hang on, it's going to drag over. Here we go. The 47 puts, which at the time were priced at $1,070. They're still priced pretty much the same, even though it's gone down quite a bit. But it's just based upon the total volume in the open interest right now. It didn't lose really any time value, but right now they are priced at pretty much the same place, $1,010. Okay. Okay. All right. That is the API number area right there. And, you know, selling off the highs right here. That is 49.23. The low so far is 47.62. So that's $1,500 roughly. And I think it's going to go farther. When do those calls expire? On the 11th, Gary. On the 11th. Yeah, Valerie, I think I could probably do that in a day. But there's just a lot of things that come in that I don't need to open because I know what's in them. Yeah, the calls, they didn't expire yet, Gary. They don't expire until right here, January 11th. Okay. That's what I'm looking at, the 47s. It's, you know, the volume's not high on it, and the open interest isn't really high on it, but that's what I'm looking at. You could probably do something closer. No, you can't do anything closer. Maybe farther out. Yeah, there's more volume if you go farther out. You're going to pay a time premium, $300, but there's a lot more volume out there for the 47s. And, you know, I don't know what the range of this was today. I wish I had a way to put it on a bar chart. Column setup, let's see. Let's do column setup. Nope, sorry, that's not doing it. But if you would look at the symbol on a chart, the OCLG9 P47. Let's see if I can do that. I don't even know if I can. Oops. OCLG9 P47. Did that come up with anything? It does. But let's look at it. A smaller time frame. Oh, I would have to get rid of all the drawing objects. There we go. So today, when I had recommended it, it was right about here at 99, and it ran up to 150. So at about a 50% gain today. Okay. And, you know, you just got to keep an eye on it. The January 16th, if I'd have looked out to January 16th and looked at the, the volume and the open interest between the two, I'd have looked at the January 16th first. But the 47s, it seems like they were priced a bit lower then. And it's got good total volume and good open interest. And I do think it's going to get down there to 47. Okay, I've gone on too long. But I gave Dwayne a break, and John's not here yet anyway, so I could keep going.
I had time to gargle.
Good.
Which
That's
also
good.
hurts, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show ending so I can gargle with apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, vinegar's good stuff.
Yeah.
Vinegar's good stuff. Okay.
Whoopee.
Well, let me wrap it up then. Let me wrap up my portion anyway. All right, we'll get to the spreadsheet. This was last month, 3,495. This was last year, 38,518. That's one contract, 2 hours per day. So far this year, well, today, we lost 8 ticks on the euro. We lost 4 ticks on crude. We made 10 ticks on gold. We did get our goal for the day, and today is one of those days we should put the mouse away Took 44 minutes and 2 trades to get the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 5 trades. On the month now, we're at 210. It's over 3 days, and on the year, same thing. Okay, over 3 days. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial. Apply.CFRN.net. Click on that, and be brought to this page. On this page, all we need is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay? If you don't do that, we don't know you took the free trial. And that's it. And ES is punching in new highs again. 2340, you said, Dwayne?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
And that is where it looks like it's probably trying to go. And the crude, I think, is going to get down to 47. And when these are going in opposite directions, it's not a good thing. But right now, the markets are all messed up today. Is it too hard to trade? You can't trade it on a 4-tick range, because it's just too fast. Same thing with the NQ. It's just too fast. You gotta bump it to like a 8 or 10 tick range. But all the same things apply, except the risk management is different.
We do well with it in the alert channel, as well as the Nasdaq.
When you're looking at the higher time frames like Dwayne uses, then then it's not hard to trade. Again, the risk management is different. But doing the stuff that we do in here with those markets, they bounce around too much, and it's hard enough to deal with these right now.
If you learn how to navigate, picture this: it's Thanksgiving, and you're at some relative's house. It's a nice house. It's got a small kitchen, and there's like 4 or 5 people in the kitchen, bumping backsides, trying to get the dinner ready. And oh my gosh, this kitchen is so small. I wish I had a bigger kitchen. Calgon, take me away. No. So, if you can learn to get your job done in the kitchen, in those cramped quarters, if you can navigate that, and be real smooth about it, imagine what it'll be like when your husband or wife has your kitchen, what do they call that, remodels? No, there's another term for it. Anyway, you get a fancy new kitchen. You got all these big open spaces now, where you just glide around, like you're on roller skates or something. If you try to jump into discretionary trading too early, you get hurt. However, if you first get your basic training or your market bearing in the live trading room, where there are rules for everything, when to enter, when to get out. I mean, it's carved in stone, and it has been for over 5 years. We haven't changed a line of code or one single rule in the methodology in over 5 years. Because if something's not broke, there's just no reason to fix it. So I just wanted to throw that in. Go ahead. This is your time.
No,
it's
that's
your
good.
show.
That's all good.
It's your show.
No, I was done. I was going to pass it back out. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A. Looking South Mountain. America's largest city park.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
John's not... Oh, wait. Scroll down. He's still not there.
Okay, that's okay. I didn't get to him until really late yesterday, so if he does show up, I'd like to give him the courtesy of speaking with him. So, okay. For those of you that showed up late, stay after class? No. Huh. I just want to go back and show you real quick. Now, I know that some people might look at these weekly trading zones that I went through, right? Okay, so this was the gap higher opens last Sunday night. And we went from zone, okay, back to the zone, couldn't quite get there. And the third trip, we made it. But see how we kept coming back? Support. We expect that to be good support, just like we expect this to be good resistance until proven otherwise. Okay, and so we make a move, pull back, it holds as support, you expect it to go the distance. It did. Okay, And when we got here, we consolidated. Only 3 things can happen at a weekly trading zone: consolidation, rejection, or the one I didn't go over earlier, the slice. The slice? This is the slice. See how it just sliced through the zone like it wasn't even there? Well, what typically will happen when you have a slice is it will pull back up to the zone and then continue in the direction of the slice. Typically. See when it got back to the zone what it did? It walked sideways and consolidated all the way over to here. And then whatever, there's a 9:30 open on January the 2nd. As the first trading candle of the new year, Wall Street wise. I mean, we were at it since Globex, but anyway. And that's what made the difference. Okay, that's why we didn't come down. That's why we didn't take out this low and went the other way. All the bullishness of the new year. Okay, so here we are at the zone again. And again, and again, and again. I didn't draw circles there. And again, and again. And off we go. So we consolidated. Pull back to the zone. Boom. Sliced. Pulled back. Now, if these are 30-minute candles, if I broke this down to like 1-minute candles or 5-minute candles perhaps, you would see how it went above and then pulled back. But I walked you guys through this in the channel this morning, okay? When it got back below, I said, we got to wait and see where this candle is, how it's going to end. And it ended much differently than it looked like it might when it began. So, now, some people would look at it, and there again, consolidation at the zone. Now, the zones go out to passport holders and our partners every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, before Wall Street wakes up. They are carved in stone for the entire week. We don't change them, massage them, manipulate them, any of that stuff. They are what they are. Now, some folks would look at this chart and they're not familiar with our work and you go, oh, you just got lucky this week. How long have we been getting lucky, Mike?
Oh, over 10 years. Over
Okay.
10 years.
Well, that's a stretch. Well, I guess, well, no, let me clean that up. We first published the
We did it for
zones.
free for a long time.
Yeah, we first published the zones. You're right. You're right. We first published the zones as a thing December 14th of 2009.
Okay.
December
So
14th. So
almost,
9 years.
almost over 10.
Yeah, you were really close. You're really close.
I was
But you and I were using them before we started publishing them for partners and other folks.
Yeah,
So that's
since-
that's and now, have I changed anything about the zones since December 14th of 2009?
No, they've always been the same.
Nope. It's the same. And I gave all of you that are on the trial, I put this week's zones in the trial channel for you in the discussion group, I believe. Now, you got to break those apart. In fact, I have a clever idea. All of you should go to the link. I'm going to put it on the screen. Yeah, because anybody on YouTube won't be able to see the link in the chat box. If you're on YouTube and you want to be a part of that trial, just email Valerie at support@cfrn.net. Okay. Now, what was I going to do? I was going to do something. I was getting ready to do something. It was really important.
Well, you were doing two things. You were going to do one thing.
It's always two
and
things with me.
Some place to go and look at it. And then you realize that you couldn't do that in here, and they would see it on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Okay. You're so clever. Oh, and thanks for handling the workshop last night. I appreciate that. You know, in all the years,
and I already pasted it into the channel too.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
You know, in all the years, I don't think I've ever forgot a workshop before. But it was 10 after 7 last night, and my wife and I were out, and I looked at her and I go, "Oh my God, it's Thursday." And she goes, "Is that a bad thing?" I go, "Class." She goes, "Oh my God," you know. So anyway, thanks.
No problem. It's happened to me in the past.
CFRN.net/PRIAL. Now, if you go to that page, right there, let me show you what you're going to find. You're going to find this. Okay. Now you should click allow. Okay. Just kidding. What I want to, the reason I brought you to this page is simply so you could click this. Fill out this. Fill out this. Okay. That way.
That doesn't have his ref ID on there. I wonder.
It did.
Yeah, it doesn't have it. Well, what you just did didn't have his ref ID.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. But if I'm not mistaken.
We want to make sure that that gets to Bert.
Oh yeah, I don't want it to go to anyone else. Come on. I don't want to be a pal. See the ref ID down the bottom left corner?
Oh yeah, I see it down
Yeah,
there.
so it gets routed to him. It's just that when somebody goes, yeah, that's how they do it.
Okay.
Those smart
Okay,
guys
I
on
was
the
just
internet,
looking at
they're so clever.
URL.
Okie doke. Yeah. All right. Okay, so the reason I want you to come here, and the reason I want you to do this, is not because we get a commission or any kind of payment if you take a trial or become a client of theirs. No. It's totally self-serving. Well, I guess that would be self-serving too. I want you to be able to download this platform, because with this platform, you can use our indicators for a week. Why would you want to do that? You've heard me talk a lot today about the exit signal and how we alerted everyone just before the open this morning on Wall Street to consider a long position at 2490 on the S&P 500 E-mini. We are now at 2533. Is that 43 S&P points, Michael? Is that really $2,000 per contract traded? It is.
Oops, 2150. Sorry, my mic was off. It'd be 2150. 43 points.
Okay. So there you go. Now, here's what will happen. Okay, when you download this platform, free trial, no credit card required, none of that stuff. You'll go here. You go here. Well, you got to go to the indicator store. How do I do here? Do this. Right click on the chart. No, I got a better idea.
Easy. Yeah, that's the easiest way. That's how I do it. Right click, go to indicators, down at the bottom.
Call this number, and someone will walk you through anything you can't figure out on your own. You can also call that's Bert. He's one of the good guys. Okay? Alright. So you go here, you download this free trial. If you get hung up anywhere, call here, call here. Now leave a message. Now, Bert always answers if he's in the office, and I think we pretty much answer most of the time.
I always pick the phone up. And
doesn't it ring to Val?
If I'm not on the phone, I always pick the phone up.
Doesn't it ring to Val now?
It does now.
Okay.
But I used to always pick the phone up.
Right. Okay. All right. So yeah. So between us, it pretty much gets it. But if you leave a message, somebody will definitely get back to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you've done all of that and you've gone to the indicator store by, I thought it was down there. Oh, there's a link to the indicator. Oh, there we go. Come over here. Go to the indicator store. Like that.
That's the way to get to it. And mine shows up on another monitor every time.
I was just getting ready to say, and it might pop up on another screen, because that's what mine just did. Now, can I move it? Doesn't seem to want to drag.
You got to open it up. Open it up a little wider, and then it'll drag.
Here, I got it.
That's the way mine works.
I got it right here. There we go. So you go to the indicator store, and you highlight right here, CFRN indicator. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And don't pay any attention to this stuff over here. You just got to put something there, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, they force you to put something there.
Just click this, install it, right? And when you're done, you'll be able to go insert, indicators, CFRN, CFRN. Okay. So this exit signal that I talked about, what does that look like? Well, I have to tell you because it hasn't happened yet, but then I'll go show you on some other alert. Okay, this little black line is called the step line. Don't worry about why we call it the step line, just that's what we call it. This blue line here is called the CFMA1. Again, don't worry about why we call it that. That's just a name. The green line we call the BBC. Now that I can give you a reason. Bull, bear, cross. When this blue line and price cross above the BBC, we anticipate higher prices or we are bullish. When the red line goes below the green line, we anticipate lower prices, bearish. That right there is enough to get you through most days. But when the step line crosses, and I can show you down here. Okay, imagine this was up here. Okay, you see how the step line.
John just popped in.
Okay, the step line now, because this, you see how up here the step line's on the left side of that blue line. Now down here, it's already crossed over. That's kind of premature. So what we'll be waiting for on this move is we will wait for the step line to hook a right turn like it did right here. But it's going to actually cross the blue line. Okay? Now, once it crosses the blue line, we need one more thing to constitute an exit signal. We need, because it's a bullish move, a long move, when we get a red candle that closes below the step line, and if I zoomed it up, there's a little shade of red right there. All right, so this candle, it closed at 24.81. This candle closed at 24.79. So whichever one of these you took for your exit signal. Okay, again, the step line will cross the blue line, and this will happen. Download the platform, download the indicators, and you can see it happen live in real time. What will happen is whenever we reach whatever's going to be the high of this session. Now, this could carry over into Globex on Sunday night, okay? When the market has gone as high as it's going to go on this leg, all right, price will start to walk sideways. You see that? Price will walk the step line will cross. Price will walk sideways. And the first red candle that closes below that step line, that's the market. Not some guy on TV, not some guy on the radio. It's the chart, the market itself telling you, hey, bub, you might want to get out. Okay? Now, did this get you out at the swing high? No. Never will. You can't get out of swing high or swing low because you don't know it's a swing high or swing low until after the fact. Right? Okay, so we're over that now. We can't get out swing high or swing low. But it did a pretty good job of getting us out close. Because you see right here on this 24.90 this morning, it was 24.90 to 92 to 94 and trail if possible. I have a weekly trading zone here. It was good resistance before. I have to assume this is going to be good resistance until it isn't. And I walked you through it in the channel. I said, now if we close above, we're going to look for a pullback to the zone. See, and I went through the important prices, important areas thing. See, price went from 24.90 up to 24.99. 9 points in 3 minutes. Sliced right through that zone. And then came right back. Touched the entry. What's the swing low there? 24.87.75. This happens again and again and again. Day after day after day, not just on the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the NASDAQ. It's how markets work. Folks, today you're learning something you might not learn anywhere else. I don't know. I'm sure you can. I just don't know where. The truth about trading. All right? So, get the platform downloaded, get the indicators installed, and you can watch this exit signal print. When it prints, and you can know at exactly what price it prints, be it today, Sunday night, Maybe we could rally Sunday night. Maybe it's not until Monday or Tuesday, but eventually it will print. All right, and you'll be able to see it if you have. Now again, the platform trial and the indicators. There's no credit card required for that. We always give everyone a free look at everything we do, so you can make a well-informed decision if it's right for you. It would be silly to sell you a pig in a poke, and you'd be silly to buy one. So, and we know you're not silly. So, let's go to John.
Oops. Okay, let me open up his mic.
Thanks, sir.
Here. There we go. Mic is open.
John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Hi there.
Good to have you with us.
What a great day, huh?
Pretty incredible. I told everybody not to be too overly concerned about that Apple business, because that's
no,
just
you're right. You're right. We said it was overdone yesterday, and
Yep.
you know there was just by sheer chance we caught that low. You know, we had one more dip down after the close, and I had a lot of times when you get a bad day like yesterday, you know, you have an overnight recovery, and I was kind of betting on that. And if you remember, I said, you know, if the jobs number is going to be good, there's going to be, normally you get an afternoon rally, but yesterday wasn't the day.
And that was a blowout number.
Right. Well, look, the way it went up off that, obviously somehow somebody got wind of it. And, you know, from about late evening or early evening, around 6, 7 or so, when we made that bottom.
We turned up at
it turned, well, it just gave a really solid, the way it went up, kind of methodical. It's almost like the cat was out of the bag, and it just didn't look like it was going to pull back, and we stayed with it. Pretty much, we sold it a little bit before the, you know, around early in the morning, around 6 o'clock. We got that high, and then bought the pullback. And we've been basically long ever since. Remember what we said yesterday? I'm looking for a 1,500 point move off the lows of yesterday. Somebody asked me about that, and the reason I said that is because, you know, we had the 1,000 point move, bit of a pullback, and then we had another 800 move. So altogether it was about 1,600 points. I actually think this is a kind of an ABC rebound here. So the good thing about today is this is the 3rd day of the year, and we are having a blowout up day. I think we're going to follow through Monday and possibly Tuesday to the upside. So the first 2 days, the first day is up. First day of the year was up, right? Second day down, and the other 3 days are all up. That will be a pretty good year. It portends a very good year. In other words, it does portend we're going to have a deeper pullback in the first quarter, most probably, first or second quarter, and then we're off to the races for the rest of the year, I believe. And you know, this, I don't know whether you caught this Fed conference this morning with the former chiefs all together talking for the first time.
No,
maybe
I did not see that.
First time in history that these 4 Fed governors all got together, or three of them, sorry, and it was pretty eye-opening. It was a pretty riveting conference because Janet Yellen was there, sort of backing everything that Jay Powell has been doing. So that was a good endorsement for him. When Ben Bernanke was there, sort of everybody was sort of backslapping each other, and obviously that helped. You know, with the way the market is right now. So in a way, he kind of recouped his you know, heroic status when you know that we were on October the 1st, if you like, before this all started, and now he's starting to get it back a bit. So, and he basically said, "Look,
you heard his comment that if Trump asked him to step down, he would refuse, right?"
Yeah, and I think the market went up immediately. He said that. Excuse me. So the
okay, there's a difference between asking somebody to step down and firing them, and
yeah.
Trump does know how to say "you fired."
Yeah.
He said that.
So look, I think he probably got the wake up call, and he's going to be a lot more attentive to, look, the economy it is a funny thing that people don't realize
Dow's
is
up
when
800 points, John, cash market.
right, when the economy is really motoring, you know, the market does pull back. It's a strange phenomenon people don't understand. You know, it's the same, it's a little bit like the opposite of, you know, when there were still shops and businesses boarded up back in 2009, 10, 11, you know, the market was seeing the recovery, but the main street wasn't. You know what I mean? Now the main street is sort of on fire, and the economy and the market is is kind of, you know, correcting, because it's saying, you know, we've predicted this was coming, you know, buy the rumor, sell the fact. Now that the economy is so strong, market's pulling back. But remember what happened in 2007. You know, we had that correction from July 19th down through August 14th, and that was about a 10% or maybe even a 12 or 12% or something like that. A little bit more than what, little bit less than what we just had in the last couple of months. And then we had this, and then the market rallied to new highs that nobody saw coming. And remember, it was a little bit like that February, March, you know, February, May, and in the middle of the year with this correction that we had in 2018 before we went to a new high. So the power within the market to go to a new high. Look, you had Byron Wien, who's a very smart guy, come out with his 10 things for, you know, 10 predictions for 2019 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking for exactly, it's almost like he was listening to this show. You know, he said 15% upside, which is what we've been saying, you know, is coming. You know, maybe will take us certainly up 5 to 10,000 points, something like that. So more like 7 to 10,000 points, which is right in that kind of. But I think it's going to go up more than 15% myself, actually, because you've got China. China is probably going to be the driving force behind the world recovery in this next episode, because what he actually said in that, and he's a pretty shrewd read on China. He's saying that China's going to go from supposedly 1 or 2% growth right now back to 6.5% growth. I mean, that'll be like a rocket ship under the world economy if that happens. I think a lot of the rally that started last night started in China and started in Japan, and I think Draghi, you know, this was probably a coordinated
The only
deal.
market in the red is the Nikkei.
Okay. Oh yeah, because the Nikkei's catching up because it's sort of delayed. You know, it's kind of reacting to a couple of days ago, and it hasn't turned yet. You know, the Nikkei could open up 500 tonight, or 1,000 even. You know, it could be a really huge update.
Okay. Bear with us. John will be back in a second. John, if you need to cut it short, it's okay.
No, that's okay. No, what I was going to say was you know, look, if you look at the charts, you know, we have not given back that much, even though we've had these shocking down days. We haven't given back much off this big record up day. That was the key to today's markets being better. And by the way, you know, these upgrades, these revisions, upward revisions of the last few months are really showing the underlying strength of a broadening economy, an improving economy. I mean, look, I think the job numbers must be approaching 5 million that Trump's created here in just a couple, you know, in just a pretty short time, a couple of years.
Today? It was over 300,000, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
only
these are
expecting the forecast was like 170.
right. I mean, 300,000 a year is, you know, 3.6 million-ish, north of 3 million. That's like for 2 years to be about 6 million. So Trump's right up there in one of the best 2-year performances ever. You know, it's really, really impressive. So it's this economy. And you know, we've been saying, I mean, you only have, you don't have to hear it from us. Listen to Art Laffer. I mean, he's the authority on all this, you know. And by the way, you know, now they're criticizing him over the debt and everything. But the fact of the matter is, in spite of the tax cuts, right, the revenues are all-time record for 2018. The U.S. government has never pulled in as much money in 1 year as they did in 2018. So obviously the tax cuts are working. And listen, it's not a fly-by-night deal. It's not a 1 or 2 year deal. These tax cuts are going to be it's going to have the wind of the economy's back for possibly for a decade or 15 years or more. Just like it did after the 87, you know, the 84, we had an 87 pullback. And then what happened next? You know, you had a 20-year bull market, and really all these taxes, you know, were really helping all that. And this is, and now the corporate tax. I mean, the corporate environment in the United States is probably never been better for decades, because the giant sucking sound that Ross Perot used to talk about is started to reverse. People are getting out of China. I mean, they're going to Vietnam. They might even be going to North Korea before you know it.
Now,
we said that a long time ago.
How easy is it, John, for the average person in China to leave if they want to leave?
To leave the country, you mean?
I mean, can they just pick up and go? Or are they captive audience?
Yeah, pretty much. I believe so. You know, I mean, it's.
So in other words, they don't have to.
The world is being overrun with Chinese tourists these days, and you know, the
so
crazy
they don't have
thing
to
is,
sneak out. They don't have to sneak out under the cover of darkness. They can just, and I'm talking about, you know, like the guy that works in the rice paddy or in the apple factory. We hear so much about how they're mistreated and overworked, and the conditions are not good in some of these factories. I would think all of those people would want to just get up and go if they could. But I guess it becomes a matter of where you're going to go. Who's going to let you in?
You know, you can't remember, China's been growing at a phenomenal rate for three decades. And by the way, the music is slowing down. You know, that kind of growth cannot be maintained, because it's, you know, it's not a $1 trillion economy anymore. It's a 10, 12, or 13 trillion economy, and in some respects, it's the biggest economy in the world, because their consumption is in lots of areas is much bigger than the U.S. And remember, they're minting millionaires at a rate that's faster than anywhere on Earth, even faster than the U.S. and billionaires. So what I think what's going on with China is a lot of people who've made a lot of money are worried about their ability to continue making money at that pace. And that's why something like 2/3 of the country want to live in either UK, US, Canada, or Ireland, which is a crazy thing. And it seems to be happening a lot around the world. I mean, the grass is greener, and the grass is obviously greener for the Hondurans and the Guatemalans, and to some extent, to a lesser extent these days, the Mexicans, because the Mexican economy is doing a lot better than ever before. But it isn't in Central America. You know, people in Germany. Well, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, sometimes it's hard to comprehend that the German people, who are among the most nationalistic on earth,
right,
would ever want to leave Germany. I mean, that's just like a mind bender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, in some respects, some of the Brits want to get out of Britain. I mean, you know, the Faulty Towers guy.
We're getting down to the grass is always greener on the other side, and we know that it isn't. So.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, but I mean, America right now is the #1 country in the world in terms of ease of doing business, in terms of, you know, it's really gotten right back up to the top, and it's probably going to stay there for a while, you know, as long as look, as long as these taxes are low, as long as it's a corporate. Remember, we talked about this ages ago, years ago, a couple of years ago now, about creating a business paradise in America again by getting rid of regulations, you know, being competitive and having low taxes, etc., in a strong recovering business environment. And the U.S. has overtaken China in growth. That's something a lot of people didn't see coming. So it's, you know, we're in a, but I think there's another surge coming, you know, into this 2021, 22 time. That's probably going to be a lot more of a real, you know, it's going to feel a lot more like a boom than perhaps, you know, because we're still, remember, we're still coming off the 15-16 bottom when things were so bad and there was all this unemployment, you know, and that's what got Trump elected. Now, I mean, think about it. I mean, Trump has earned 5 million new voters, theoretically, for his efforts over the last couple of years. If he doubles that by 2020, you know, we're going to be, he should be in pretty good shape by 2020, you know, by November 2020.
I think, you know, this is going to look like some kind of roller derby. The field's going to be so crowded. So many, everybody, now suddenly everyone who's had 15 minutes of fame thinks they can be president. Mm-hmm. They're going to come out of the woodwork. I believe we'll have a larger field of candidates than we've ever seen before on both sides of the aisle. And, you know, most of them will get blown out early on, but that's what we have to look forward to. Now, once the dust settles, who do you think is the biggest threat to Trump? Even the people who still claim they're not going to run. If anybody who could run does run, who do you think would be the biggest single threat to Trump gaining a second term in the Oval Office?
Well, you know, currently it's Joe Biden, believe it or not.
More so than Hillary.
Well, she's a kind of a dark horse, you know, because yeah, if she comes back into the fray, you know, look, there's an old saying, third time lucky, you know, you never know what happens. And like this guy in Mexico, you know, I mean, this was his third shot at the presidency and he blew everybody away. I mean, he created his own party and just did something that's never been done before. And I mean, this guy is amazing. I mean, he you know that he hasn't missed a single day, I believe, so far in his, where he hasn't started out 7 o'clock in the morning press conference, usually lasts a whole hour, and he takes a lot of incoming, you know, but he's laying out the agenda, and he's getting things done in a really amazing way. And you know, I mean, look, there's some predictions out there. You start looking at the world economy in 2050 or 2040, I think, and I think Mexico's going to be the 6th or 7th largest economy in the world by then. So this is sort of part of it, and he's raising the minimum wage just like they are in some of the U.S. states. He's raised it dramatically, and he's doubled the minimum wage along the border. And he's trying to create the largest free zone in the world. He's got a lot of good ideas. The only thing I think he's gone crazy over is shutting down this amazing new airport they were building in Mexico City.
Why did he shut it down?
He said it was too expensive. I mean, listen, a drop in the ocean is about 13 billion or something. It's not that big of a deal. And they've already spent 2/3 of the money on it. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, this would have been after
2/3 of the money was already spent.
Well, it's
is it shut down or on hold?
You know, it may be a political thing. They're kind of it's kind of on hold at the moment, and it may be revived. Listen, this was going to be, you know, this is going to be one of the top airports in the world, like one of the top 3. Absolutely spectacular design by an English architect, most famous, and you know, who's done all these whiz-bang airports around the world. And it really was, you know, I mean, I think it was crazy to shut it down, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, this is the fellow, don't forget, this guy's, when he goes up to meet Trump, he's going to be flying commercial. It's kind of unusual. He's, I mean, he's chopped all the government salaries are being cut down. Some of them cut in half. I mean, he's been brutal in some respects, you know, including his own salary. I mean, he's really cut back spending on the government sector in an amazing way.
Trump takes $1 a year, right, for his salary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And but he's I mean, he's already got some big infrastructure projects going, and these are the sort of things that drive growth in a country. You know, high-speed trains, and things like that.
What's the story on high-speed internet, broadband in Mexico?
Well, he's saying he's mandating that for everybody, you know, including wireless.
That should be the first thing on any infrastructure list. If you have anyone in your country that does not have access to broadband internet, because yes, roads and bridges can take you to a job, but the internet can bring a job to you.
Mm-hmm.
I have my sister-in-law earns a very good living working for U-Haul from home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just, you know, typically, I mean, back in the day, she would have had to go into an office somewhere and sit in a cubicle and take these incoming calls from potential U-Haul customers.
Yeah.
When it's time for her shift, she just turns on her computer, sits down, and bing, the phone starts ringing, just like she was in the. I mean, it's phenomenal. She makes a pretty good wage, and part of it's commission based, so there's incentive, and she never has to leave the house for that. And so somebody up in up on the Appalachian Trail, where we still have children going to bed hungry at night here in this country, which is ridiculous. Those people could have jobs. So anyway, next time you send a memo to Trump, make sure that's on the top of the list. Okay, guys, we're going to start to wind it down here. If you have any questions, if you have any questions that have not been answered, maybe you put a question into the chat box. There's a lot of questions in the chat box. So if you've asked a question and it hasn't been answered, do me a favor, copy it and paste it back into the chat box. Click, click. I'll see it, and I'll make sure we answer it before we go. Go ahead, John.
Sorry. I think you were asking about I got some friends, by the way, who right at the top of U-Haul, very interesting guys who are the senior management there. And U-Haul is a very interesting company because it kind of is a barometer of the. It
was originally a family business, right?
Yeah. I've talked to the chief guy there. You know, one of the founding brothers. There was a bit of a scandal a few years ago in Colorado about some family squabbles where somebody got killed. But apart from that, you know, U-Haul's been a phenomenal company, and I think its stock price is doing very well in spite of the downturn. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's kind of held up better than most stocks. It's literally, look at Sunny. It peaked out about 420 back in 15 actually, and it's been up around $400 a share. Come back a little bit now. It's about 330, 340. But it's got an incredible history, and it's a good barometer of the economy, because obviously, you know, with the moving and all that, and it's kind of like, you know, I mean, it's doing a lot better than Federal Express or UPS right now. You know, they got clobbered pretty hard. But I think you got to. As a matter of fact, I think those two stocks are probably very good buys. I think Boeing, you know, we've been calling the bottom of Boeing here in the last few days. Boeing's up about 13 today, 13, 14, something like that. And I think, you know, I really believe when China and the US get back on track with each other, Boeing's probably going to be the big winner of the trade talks. And I mean, the companies, I mean, remember, they've got a 10-year backlog of orders. It's just unbelievable. You know, Boeing, the business that Boeing has got piled up, it's mind-boggling. and it's probably increasing. You know, they're still getting orders from all over the world. There's going to be an unbelievable demand for air transport in China. I mean, you know, they can't meet demand today. And what happens if they go? You know, they start a generation of hypersonic transport and start, you know, making a lot of the current planes obsolete. And also, you know, a lot of the airlines don't want to fly these older planes anymore because they're uneconomical. It's cheaper for them to buy a new plane and operate it, you know, at a 20 or 30% fuel saving.
Interesting.
So the aerospace industries are doing fantastically well.
All right, John, anything else you want to add?
No, listen, thanks very much for the invite,
Hey,
and have a great weekend, everybody.
You have a great weekend, and Gobex should prove interesting Sunday night on the Open. We'll see you then. Take care. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. You saw this. We ran up to 25.39 and a quarter. Is it possible that the market... Well, let me just say this, okay? Let me clarify. If you ever participate in a swing trade, such as, okay, 23.75 up to 23.75 up to 25.40, okay? Now, when price gets, if you manage to come within 3 ticks of the target, you can wait for the exit signal, of course. You could do that. But what are we talking? 170 points or something? I think that's the math. 170 S&P points. Are we going to quibble over 3 ticks? I mean, when this set up here, I think a lot of people that were still in would have taken an exit, because they would look over here and go, and then they would go, So that's okay. So if the market doesn't give us 25.40 to the tick, I can live with that. I can live with that. Okay. Now, back to the chat box. I don't see any reposts of questions, so I'm going to assume that we got them all. That could be a gross assumption on my part, but I am happy to spend time with any of you that would like to spend a little time. You can go to apply. No, don't go there. Here, I better put it on the screen. Now, you know what? Email support@cfrn.net. We'll send you out a fancy email. Mike, I see your question. 25.46.47 is not the highest weekly trading zone for this week. The highest weekly trading zone for this week is at 26.40/41. The highest or lowest weekly trading zone is never a prediction that we're going to go there. Think of the zones as a gridiron. You know, you're up in the stands, you look down on the gridiron, you see the 50-yard line, and then going left, you got the 40, the 30, and in the end zone, and going right, same thing, to the end zone. Hey, so the zones from the highest weekly zone to the lowest weekly zone, that's our playing field, if you will. And so we expect price to do exactly what it did, to navigate in between the zones, hit resistance, pull back to support, support, resistance, support. But we expect it to move in a somewhat orderly fashion, as it does, and we anticipate staying on the playing field. Now, have we ever closed above the weekly trading zone for the week or below the lowest weekly trading zone for the week? Yes, we have. I used, over the 9 years, I used to could count it on 2 hands. I think I have to take one shoe off now. I'm not positive, but yes, and you can go back and look at charts. They're available on the internet. So, thank you, Randy. That's very kind of you. You are a gentleman. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so one more zone up there, Mike, and answer to your question. Now we're going to go to our good word for the day. Now, what I want you through here, let me just, on the S&P, okay, you lay it down on the Dow, that Dow right there. Boom, 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 boom. Is there an exit signal? Wait for it. No. Now, you see how we crossed right here? See how we crossed and got on the back side of that blue line, the CFMA1? Right? If we had had a red candle close right there, below, got to be red, got to close below the step line, that would be the exit. Still waiting. But you'll notice that price is starting to walk sideways like it did here. Walking sideways is part of the picture, but not all of it. And the NQ, obviously there is no exit signal there yet. And why do I say obviously? Because it's, you know, a parabolic, almost parabolic move to the upside. But let me show you. We crossed just for a minute there, but there was no danger of a red candle closing below it. And so here's the thing. Yes, I do give a target, sometimes multiple targets, 2, 3, even 4, on the alerts. And so if you hit the target or the final target, but the chart has given you no reason to get out of the trade, well, then you should at least think about it, because you work hard and invest a lot of time and energy into getting into this kind of a profitable move, right? So, because we're human, we have a nature in us that will stay with a losing trade, you know, for a long time, you know, hoping that the universe will prove us right, and so we can feel smart and good. But we get into a profitable trade, man, 2 ticks of green and people are hitting the exit. Why? Because they want to feel right and good. You are good because God made you, and right and wrong are 2 words that you need to lose from your trading vocabulary. Please. Okay? It's not about right and wrong. What we do is we teach you a methodology that embraces trading only the highest probability setup. We don't know what's going to happen next, but we do know what a high probability trade setup looks like, and we can teach that to you. The indicators, there's no magic or voodoo there. They have one job and one job alone. They go in any market, any time frame, and their job is to do one thing: to highlight the underlying rhythm of the market. I don't care what market it is, I don't care what time frame it is. If we're red and falling, you want to be pulling the short trigger, or at least don't go long until there's a bullish cross, and now you're blue and climbing. Blue and climbing. Color-coded for your convenience. Now, I know some people who are, you know, some people who've been around the block a few times and you've not always been given a fair shake. You might go, yeah, well, that's working now, but it ain't going to work forever. Okay, I don't know how long forever is. I just know that for over 5 years, it's been working real well. So, I can't promise you what tomorrow holds, but I'm going to hang my hat on it. It's the underlying rhythm of the market. How does that break? How does that not work? The market itself dictates it. I don't want to go so far as to say it's unbreakable, but ooh, see, little red candle here. What would it take to create an exit signal? Let's take one more peek, and then we go to our good word for the day, and then I'm done. I'm not done, but I'm going to end the radio show so I can quit talking. Okay, so now we're on the back side, but see how it went back? So it's not going to happen on this candle. Well, okay, let me not say it can't, because it could. Always embrace the possibilities. Anything is possible. If all of a sudden this thing dropped to right there and closed below that step line, well, that would be an exit signal. But with this thing pointing up, I'm not ready to call it a day. So we'll see. Okay? Again, if you want to spend some one-on-one time with me in a private mentoring session, email Valerie support@cfrn.net, and she'll walk you through how to set that up. It's no credit card required. It won't cost you anything. Our partners and passport holders do enjoy unlimited one-on-one mentoring. So I'm sure you are aware of the painful statistics that 9 out of 10 would-be traders fail. Now, that number was published in Futures magazine many years ago, and I've never heard anyone challenge it. And when I first came across that, I thought, you know, that's such a huge, what profession do 9 out of 10 people fail? Not Navy SEALs, not brain surgeons, not nowhere, not know how. 9 out of 10? That's crazy. I wanted to know why. Why is that? It's simple. They did not have a teacher. Picture yourself. You decide, I'm going to learn how to fly a plane. But you can't find a teacher anywhere, so you just figure, well, yeah, I'll teach myself. It's kind of dangerous. Trying to teach yourself how to trade, that's kind of dangerous too. Go find the 1 out of 10 that succeeded and ask him or her if they had a teacher. 9 times out of 10, they'll say, hey, yes, I did. So, that's who we are. That's what we offer. It's the entire package, from the indicators to the mentoring to the live training every day to the unlimited one-on-one mentoring. It's all there. It's all here for you. Enjoy the trial. You know, we still got through the close of Tuesday session at 5 p.m. Eastern. So enjoy it. Spend time in the discussion group. Chat with me, chat with Valerie, chat with Michael, chat with each other. Whatever you want to do. Okay? But be sure to ask lots of questions so that come Tuesday, when it closes, you'll have gained enough information to make a well-informed decision if what we do and how we do it is right for you. If it's not, we'll shake hands, remain friends, and hope to see you in the radio audience every day. Okay? All right. Good word for the day. On tap. Here we go. And then I think I mentioned I gotta go. But I'll be in Telegram. You can reach me there. All right. Have you yet? Now it's the new year, and people, you know, make resolutions when they're young. By the time you become a certain age, you figure out, maybe that's not the best way to plan for the future. Let me ask you this. Have you figured out God's timing, location, and purpose for your life? That's a good resolution to have. This year, 2019, and that's if you answered no. If you answered yes, then you're good to go. If you said no, I don't know God's timing, location, and purpose for my life, then that would be a great resolution. This year, I'm going to press in. I'm going to spend time with God. I'm going to stick to Him so close. He might get a little annoyed, and he's going to reveal to me, I just believe it, the timing, the location, and purpose for my life. Why He created me. And why He created me exactly the way He did. Because I'm sure if we were doing the creating, we'd have done it a little different, right? Okay. Well, Well, that's why he's God and we're not. Acts 17:26. And he has made from one blood every nation of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and has determined their pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings, so that they should seek the Lord. That's Acts 17:26 through 27. Now, there are three phrases in this scripture that I want to look at. Number one, and has determined their pre-appointed times. Your parents may not have wanted you. Some of us know that we were accidental babies. I was on purpose, but I know plenty of people, they were told growing up, oh yeah, you're an accident. Okay, there's no accidents in God's kingdom. Your parents may not have wanted you, but God did. He scheduled the moment of your birth. He has a purpose for your life, and you are constantly on his mind. If that sounds too good to be true, read on. Psalm 139, 16, 17. Jump from Acts to Psalm 139, 16, 17. It says, you saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. How precious are your thoughts about me, O God. Now, that is a foundation to build your self-worth on. I said there was three things. Here's number two. In that opening scripture, and the boundaries of their dwellings. God's will for you requires being in the right place. That's why he sets boundaries. Sometimes he will say, don't go there. I want you over here. That's if you're listening. Don't stay here. I want you over there. Because someone else goes somewhere else and succeeds does not mean you will. Psalm 37:23. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Include God in every detail of your life. For where he guides, he provides. Think about that. And number three, so that they should seek the Lord. Every act of God in your life is designed to increase your dependence on him. Every assignment he gives you will require his participation in order to succeed. With all his great talents, Paul acknowledged this. Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think of anything as being from ourselves, but our sufficiency is from God. And that's our good word for the day. Looks like I got one question hanging here in the chat box. Mike B asks, so John sounded real bullish again. Does the market retest daily lows to put in a double bottom, or do we V-shape from here? So hard to tell. Well said. Well said. I'll pull up a daily chart for a moment. Now, here's what happened. We had a double top here. Then we did a leg and a retracement. A leg and a retracement where we put in a slightly lower high. And then a leg and a retracement where we put in another slightly lower high. Downtrend. Okay. And then we stumbled off the cliff. Now, there is no hard and fast rule about getting a V-bottom or not getting a V-bottom. V-bottoms do happen. Typically, though, there will be a transition. And now let's see if I point out a transition. Let me scrunch it up for a minute. Well, since we've been in a bull market for so long. Oh, okay. All right. So now this is an exaggerated transition, right? So we were climbing. Then we have this pullback. See how it kind of had to fight its way out of there? In this example, on a daily chart, that's your transition. Okay. Now, does that mean all these days you can't trade the market because you're transitioning? Depends if that's your methodology. Once you establish where the top of this transitionary period is and the low, wow, there's a move there. These are big moves. This is the daily chart. Okay. And the same principle works on a 1 minute chart, a range chart, a volume chart. If you've been climbing for a while, you'll see the market start to walk sideways before it heads down. If you've been declining for a while, you'll typically see the market start to walk sideways before it heads up. Now, something that we use and has worked well for us for a very long time is this. Same indicators I had on a 30-minute chart. Nothing different. Okay. Back up over here. Okay, so here we had a bearish, I don't want to go all the way back. We had a bullish cross and price kept climbing, right? And then we had a bearish cross right here, but we never really pulled away. All right, then we go, then we resume the trend. So this is an anomaly. This is where a lot of people will end up getting their heads handed to them. You see this little double bottom here? Here and here. Up we go. Leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. Now, same thing. You get a head fake to the downside. I'm way back in August of 2017 right now. And we're climbing. Remember what I said about anytime price is above this green line, you need to be anticipating higher prices until this happens. Right there. Okay. Now this was a pretty volatile time period here. Market finally worked itself out. And on the daily chart, look what we just did today. What do? We ran up and we tagged the BBC. Does that set us up for an explosion Monday night? Sunday night, I mean? No. Actually, this area that I've circled and put an R, it's between the 50% reverse fib and the 62. This leg that just came up right here and touched the BBC. Let's go back to the 30-minute. Learning to work in multiple time frames, think in multiple time frames is important. That may not only be the high of the day, it might be the high for a while. But I don't prophesy and I don't forecast. I deal with what the chart is telling me now. What is the daily chart telling me now? I just went to the daily chart and said, the daily chart said anticipate another leg to the downside. As much as we want to be bullish and hopeful and excited and all those things, the daily chart, and the larger the time frame, the more important the message. Okay? Bearish cross, bang. This is a daily, each one of these candles represents one whole day of trading. That bearish cross happened at 26.94, and we went to 23.10, 150 points, times $50 per point, if you were in the move all the way down, which we weren't. Okay, off and on. Now, you see how we pulled back here? We went leg, retrace, leg, because that's how markets work. Now, could price power through here? We get a bullish cross, we're off to the races. Yeah, but it hasn't happened yet. So I have to anticipate another leg down until proven otherwise. Now, on the daily, we're already blue and climbing. What'll be really critical for me is on this daily chart, when we cross this 50-yard line, this horizontal line here, when the blue line crosses the 50 and is climbing, that's when I'll start to believe that, you know, and the next leg down, it might just take us back to challenge this, Mike B, which you ask about on the daily chart, and create a double bottom. Or it might just come back to the 62. Might come back to the 50. See, I don't know what's going to happen next. And that's so important for everyone who's tuned in today or who's listening to this in the future on YouTube. You do not know what's going to happen next. I don't care who your guru is. I don't care what indicator or oscillator you have and how much money you paid for it. There are too many variables in the market. Too many variables in life to predict the future. Many people who want to become traders, part of that 9 out of 10, number one, they don't have a teacher to tell them to knock that off. So they're just out there, man, just churning and yearning, buying indicators and buying oscillators and flying to this city to take another seminar. Because there has to be a way to know what's going to happen next. Well, I'm here to tell you there's not. There's not a way. Not an indicator, not an oscillator, not a crystal ball. Not nothing, not no way, not no how. Okay? Now, many of you don't want to hear that. You don't want to accept that. Because you've worked hard, man. And maybe you even coded some indicators of your own. And you're just drawing the, oh man, you're just about to break through to the other side. Hoo-hoo, and all the years of work going to be worth it. That day's never going to come. Spend 45 minutes with me in a one-on-one mentoring session. I'll help you understand that concept. And whether you ever become a partner with us or a passport holder, doesn't matter. Because in that 45 minutes, I will set you free. I won't set you free. The truth will set you free. Have a great weekend. Spend some quality time with your family. That's the CFRN rule. I'll see you in church on Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.